you okay?
Did you feel that that was appropriate? Did I feel you felt that you needed to say something about your vote prior?
Oh, no, I'm
was just trying to
fine
bring
with
it
our
to-
majority. I appreciate that, Mr. Walker, thank you. No, I'm good.
Rec board.
All right, so I believe we have 3 people for 2 openings.
What?
Should I leave?
No.
Okay.
This is a public meeting.
I know, but it's about me.
It's awkward.
I'm gonna just look at you the whole
The hard part is me paraphrasing what you
Yeah.
said.
Oh, okay, I'll be eager to hear that, thank you.
So I believe we have 3 people for 2 openings, is that correct?
Yes.
So we have Jim McNulty, who is on the rec board currently. We have Steve DeRico, and we have Kimberly Bezak, who's in the house. So Jim McNulty has been on the board for several years. He also is the head coach of the St. Margaret's football program. He's been very involved in many of the playground athletic programs. So we asked him, what his thoughts were. He was there when the board was a more active board. They got rid of replaced a lot of the outdated Candy Cane City products. They upgraded the playground. Now there's more wear and tear. What was safe what was considered safe 10 years ago is no longer considered safe. He felt that the current rec board could use more direction to be more effective. He's been served since 1998. He's lived in Narberth all his life. He wants to make sure the playground is well used. It's a well-run community facility. We no longer have access to the playing fields at Marion School that we had for a lot of our rec programs. He brought up the tennis court question. The tennis is not so popular that maybe we should consider some reprogramming in what the central hub of the playground is. Steve DeRico's lived here 10 years. He wants to be more active. He has a 5-year-old son and a 3-year-old child. He coaches soccer and t-ball in the Narberth programs. He felt the parks are about seeing friends and community. We asked him what is the unmet potential of the parks. He felt that the tennis courts need repair, but is that what we really want to do with that space? And should Sabine Park, should we have 2 similar recreation areas or different type of areas? How do we get further? His good lines were really about how do we get more input from the community on this? Do they want a dog park? He understands the challenges of something like that. Is there the picnic bench area? Perhaps it should be more shaded. Perhaps there should be lacrosse courts. So that were some of the thoughts that came along. And I believe he mentioned Freedom Park in Havertown off Darby Road as a site to look at. Kimberly Bezak, she moved here 1 year ago. The rec board jumped out at her. She has a master's in occupational therapy with a focus on brain injury. She's focused on aging in place initiatives, so she was concerned about seniors using the park and the parks and facilities. Most of our rec facility is for the under 10-year-old crowd. Might be something to see at a workout station type circuit. Something that also covers all abilities, children with different abilities. Right now, the 2 playgrounds with all sand limit some children from using the playground. And maybe we could find a way that the sand component wasn't the entire space. Items like recycled rubber, recycled tire, with good maintenance could be something. She mentioned a Miracle Field program that is in some of the organizations. There's an imagination program in Havertown. She was concerned that the Sabine playground is relatively empty, and that could be an opportunity, perhaps a spray ground in that situation. So those are some of the things I took from the conversation we had with Arnold. And so we have 3 to 2, and others can put in their comments and thoughts.
I will add a comment. Although I disagree very strongly with Ms. Bezak, who does not love the sand, I do love the sand.
I do love sand. I do love it.
I've made some inquiries. She is absolutely correct that there are many children with sensory disorders who find the sand unbearable, not just as a wheelchair access issue.
I have to say, I don't know how many of you have encountered Jim McNulty over the years, but he has been, you know, when we talk about people who have given time to the community and such, it's one of those people that, it's tricky because I was really impressed with Steve DeRico. I met him before these interviews. And I was like, wow, this is somebody we want to get involved in this town. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm really torn with this one. This is very challenging because I know everything Aaron said about Kimberly Bizak is been demonstrated it's true. But it's just the playground, as well as in the quality of life in the town. Steve Rico, I'm intrigued by his bio and the way he described his interest in the playgrounds. And I do have encountered Jim McNulty in many property committee meetings, in the property committee meetings. I'm wondering, is he also on the athletic association? Is he involved in some other capacity?
The Athletic Association is a different entity.
It's a different, he's not part of that entity.
He's a big St. Margaret's guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a St. Martin. Okay. And who produces the schedules for the fields? Is Jim McNulty actually coordinating all the
No, not all.
scheduling?
Yeah.
It's not Jim McNulty.
Well, technically, it comes from the borough office with guidance
No,
from.
but I know it's actually being done by one of these.
Melissa.
That's Melissa's doing it.
Melissa's piece of it, but it's
She's
not.
actually,
It's another job.
she's actually scheduling the fields.
There's another
Greg
job.
Knox, maybe?
Yes, he
It's
does.
Greg.
Yeah.
Greg,
Knox,
there it is.
right.
It's Greg Knox.
Yeah.
It's Greg Knox.
Right.
But he takes direction from
Right.
Melissa and Jim. Or
Sometimes.
sometimes. I mean, Jim does a lot of, this is a tough one for me. I think
Yes,
the candidates, you mentioned certainly, Kim, I know you from the various meetings. I think you do have the right energy that the rec board needs. I mean, there's no doubt that the rec board needs at least one new member who really has a lot of energy, who will help engage with the property committee and be engaged. It sounds like Jim wants that. I will say Jim does a lot of heavy lifting behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that just happen
Yeah.
recreationally, and he's a big oar in sort of that pond. So I think losing Jim at this pass might not be in the borough's best interest, but there's no doubt that of the other 2 candidates, at least for the way I'm voting, someone who's got time, energy, and spirit to help further some goals that we have, assuming I stay with property committee, but some things that we've outlined even as late as November for what we want to do into 2016. Those are all traits that are going to be essential. And someone who can also help drum up the community, both getting them active and then hopefully aligning them with the direction would be important.
How many members does the rec board have?
That's an excellent question. Off the top of my head, I do not recall. I want to say it's
Large.
It's
5.
Big, it's like 7.
Yeah,
Seven.
big.
I just emailed, I looked at it.
So and it's a 4-year appointment?
Mhm.
Yes.
So they come up every year also?
Let's bring it to a vote.
All right, you guys. All who would like to support Jim McNulty, say yes.
Yes.
You get to vote twice.
Yes.
Right, that's 6 votes for Mr. McNulty.
Yeah.
Mr. Whitworth says I can only vote twice, I'd like to vote every time. Steve DeRico. Kimberly Bizak.
Yes.
6. All right, Jim McNulty and Kimberly Bizak will be appointed to the Recreation. Congratulations.
I'm sure.
Kiss your nights and weekends goodbye.
You make sure to thank all the
Yes.
people who
I'm
put
waiting
in.
for more. I'm like,